You ever stare at two fractions and your brain just freezes? Yeah, you're not alone. Well, what if I told you there's a simple toolkit, a set of skills that can basically turn you into a fraction ordering superhero? Let's dive in and unlock that power. All right, let's start with a challenge right off the bat. Which one's bigger, 7 over 8 or 5 over 6? Now, don't worry if you're stumped, seriously. By the end of this little explainer, you're going to be able to solve this in your sleep, I promise. So to conquer this, we're going to build out our fraction fighting toolkit. First, we'll get into simplifying fractions. Then we'll tackle those tricky improper fractions. After that, we'll find some common ground to compare them. And you know what? We even have a secret weapon, the calculator check. First up is what I like to call the cleanup tool. Think about it. Simplifying a fraction is kind of like decluttering your room, right? It just makes everything so much easier to see and work with. I mean, who wouldn't rather deal with 1/2 instead of its messy cousin, 13 over 26? So the secret sauce for simplifying is something called the highest common factor, or HCF for short. I like to think of it as the master key that unlocks a fraction's simplest, cleanest form. It's just the biggest number that divides evenly into both the top and the bottom parts of the fraction. All right, so how do we find this master key? Let's use 16 and 40 as an example. First, you just list out all the numbers that can divide into 16. You know, the factors. Then you do the exact same thing for 40. Now just look at both lists. See which numbers they have in common. The biggest one on both lists, in this case, it's 8. That's our HCF. Simple as that. Okay, we've got our key, so let's go unlock the simplicity hiding inside 16 over 40. And this is where the magic happens. We just take that HCF, which was 8, and divide both the top number and the bottom number by it, and boom! 16 over 40 cleans up really nicely into 2 over 5. It's the exact same value, just, in a much simpler package. All right, time for the next tool in our kit, the organizer. We're going to use this to tame those wild, top-heavy fractions, the improper ones, and get them organized. So what even is an improper fraction? It's simple, really. It's just a fraction where the number on top, the numerator, is bigger than the number on the bottom. Think of it like this. You have more pieces than it takes to make one whole thing, like having more than a whole pizza's worth of slices. So let's stick with that pizza idea. Imagine you have 7/3 of a pizza. That means each whole pizza is cut into 3 slices, and you've got 7 of those slices. So how much pizza is that really? Well, you've got enough for 2 whole pizzas, right? That's 6 slices. And you'd have 1 slice left over. So that's 2 1/3 pizzas. It's the exact same amount of pizza, just a much clearer way to say it. And converting them is actually super easy. Just ask yourself, how many times does the bottom number, 3, go into the top number, 7? The answer's 2, right? But there's a little bit left over, a remainder of 1. So that 2 becomes your big whole number, and the remainder, the 1, becomes the new top number of your fraction. And just like that, 7 over 3 becomes 2 1/3. Okay, now for the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the power tool. I'm talking about the ultimate weapon for comparing any two fractions. It is time to find some common ground. Hey, remember that first mission I gave you? The question from the very beginning? Well, now that we're armed with our toolkit, it is time to face that challenge head on. So here we are, 7/8 versus 5/6. Right now, it's like comparing apples and oranges, isn't it? To make a fair apples-to-apples comparison, we need to get them on the same page, or, in this case, cut them into the same-sized pieces. And to do that, to find our common ground, we need what's called a common denominator. It's the key. We're looking for the smallest number that both 8 and 6 can divide into evenly. And for 8 and 6, that number is 24. And here, this is where it all clicks into place. We want to get both fractions to have 24 on the bottom. So for 7 over 8, we multiply the top and bottom by 3. That gives us 21 over 24. For 5 over 6, we multiply the top and bottom by 4. That gives us 20 over 24. And now, look at that. We're comparing 21 pieces to 20 pieces. Suddenly, the winner is crystal clear. And the winner is 7 over 8. With our new common denominator, it's so easy to see that 21 over 24 is bigger than 20 over 24. Mission accomplished. See, I told you you'd get it. But wait,
Don't go anywhere. There's one more tool I want to show you. This is our secret weapon for double-checking your work. Let's call it the shortcut tool.
Okay, so get this. Every fraction is really just a division problem in disguise. That line in the middle, it just means divided by. So grab a calculator, punch in 7 divided by 8, and you get 0.875. Then do 5 divided by 6. You get 0.833 with the 3's going on forever. Well, now it's super easy to compare. The bigger decimal wins every time.
And hey, don't think of this as a cheat code or anything. It's a really smart strategy to make sure you got the right answer and, to build up your confidence. It's a great way to verify your work.
So there you have it. Let's just quickly recap our awesome fraction ordering toolkit. We learned how to simplify fractions using the highest common factor. We know how to organize those improper fractions into mixed numbers. We mastered the power tool, finding a common denominator to compare anything. And we've got our calculator shortcut to double-check our work. You're officially a fraction ordering pro now. And I'll leave you with this little thought. That whole common denominator skill you just mastered, well, guess what? That is the key to adding and subtracting fractions, too. So you're already one giant step ahead on your next math adventure. How cool is that?